friend of mine whom I've known over a good number of years, all the way from England, just outside of London. If you've spoken to her, you know she's English. Sister Sheila Maloney is in the front here. Arrived in the PA a couple of days ago, and will be visiting a number of our missions, I would hope. And that is the sort of thing I'm talking about this morning, about long-term friendships and of people from the other part of the world, and somehow do not remain with us as strangers. So, we're going to start right where we are this morning. I doubt that many of you have read this book. There are only a few copies left in English. It's a book on Bishop Charlevoix. And there's a whole chapter of what he calls the solitude of Cumberland. And if you know anything about his life, from 1887 to 1904, he cried, and he cried plenty amongst the people of Cumberland. And if you didn't know that, you should know about it. But so did we cry. And to give thanks, to see if we can bring back some of the memory of our childhood, but more particular, to be open to what is happening to us today. And I'm going to lay this on you right now. We are comfortable, even with a few mosquitoes. They've got lots to chew on. We're well fed. We're well loved, I think. We're well protected. There are no army helicopters flying around us. And there are no armed army personnel making sure that we pray in private. But we all know that that is not the case throughout the world. You have television, and some of you watch it too much. But we do see the story of men and women and children throughout the world today in an unprecedented, disastrous situation. They are our brothers and our sisters. And we have to ask ourselves as families, number one, do we really let that man? But he makes that a moment to teach his children. He wasn't afraid to say, every day since I've been here, I have been sitting over there in the last seats, and I take time each day with one or other of my children to tell them what this means. And then he said, my heart has been broken since I came to Lac St. Anne. I look around and I see dozens of teenagers and children running around, making all kinds of fun, making all kinds of noise. And he says, we are responsible for the forming and faith of our children. And we let them get away with it. And he appealed to people who were at Lac St. Anne. He says, these are your children. And they, Cyril, he said, they want to see us pray. Not just say prayers, but they want us to teach, and they want us to speak to them, and they want us to be here at Lac St. Anne, or as in Cumberland House, that our prayer really has some guts to it, not just in the head, but that our elders and our children and our sick and those who are away from home and those who are in prison and those who are in hospitals and those whom we don't know where they are. Where else do we, how on earth can we live it? And unless we can really explain it and know where it is and what our children need, what are we giving them by way of food? So today, we heard in the scriptures, but God feeding his people when they were hungry in a miraculous way. Paul speaking to us about putting on a new heart. You notice he talks about a spiritual revolution. And you know what revolutions are about. But then the gospel, when Jesus speaks about the bread of life, you and I cannot receive the Eucharist unless our hands have done works of justice. The people asked Jesus, what works have you done? And that's what it comes down to this morning. Eucharist is intimately bound up with works of justice, and of new works of justice towards each other, towards our children, and towards the world. Your $2 goes as far as any millionaire's $2 anywhere else on the face of the earth. So again, I invite you today as maybe a gesture of solidarity, that as we give thanks for God's many blessings, that we consider our obligation in justice, to come to the help of men and women and children like ourselves, who are dying by the thousands. But much of this could be prevented. So today, as we celebrate the Eucharist, and we hear the word of God, Alfred, put your hand here with us.
You too.
There we go.
Stuff.
Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. St. Joseph. Happy birthday, St. Joseph. Happy birthday to us. Ya, 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 ya.
1 more 100 years old.
If we could get through next 10, Cyril. Okay.